Hey everyone. So I was going to start this a little while ago, but running into a little frustrating technology glitch here. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a little video with you guys, just showing you how you can use a bit of a system of just kind of multiplying things to get to multiplying and dividing to get a square root of something. So the thing is, when sometimes, um, if you don't know how to use the square root feature, or you don't know how to, or you don't know what it means, or whatever, I don't know. Sometimes it's really, really hard to to know what to put into something, like when you're trying to clean up a square root, right? I'm trying to simplify it. And so I've got 576 here, right? Now what I want to show you is that I can get to something another way, that there's actually a very direct way to answer this thing, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to answer it in a very indirect way just to show you that it can be done. So one of the things I want to point out before I start this is that, as we know, when you multiply two things that are the same as each other, right, you get that thing. So square root of 2 times square root of 2 is equal to 2, because if you two ways of looking at it. First of all, there's this, right? If you multiply them together, you get 4, and the square root of 4 is 2, right? So there's that way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is if I write this like this, the square root of 2 squared, because when you have repeated multiplication, right, that's how it works, and that will just give you 2. Now, if you remember from Algebra 1 that you can write the square root of 2 as 2 to the 1/2 power, and then times 2, and you multiply these together, right? And when you do that, you get 2 to the 1 power, which is 2. So that's another way of looking at it, right? But so I think it's important that we remember that when you have pairs of radicals, when you have a radical pair, they're the same thing, it gives you the thing that's under the radical. So if I have like the square root of 13 times the square root of 13, I get 13. If I have the square root of cow times the square root of cow, I get cow. Okay, so that's kind of how square roots work, right? That's something that you're definitely going to want to make sure you know. So square root of 576, all right? So Simon's, why are you doing this to us? Well, I just want to show you that there's a way to get to your answer if you're willing to do a little work. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take 576 and I'm going to divide it by 2. All right, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to divide this by 2. Now I was looking for a calculator feature on Smartboard, and I know they make one, but for the life of me, I couldn't get it to show up. So I just stopped fighting it. So here's what you get. You get the square root of 2 times the square root of 288. Great. That does nothing for me. However, I do recognize that 288 is an even number, which means I can pull another 2 out of it. So I'm going to do that again, right? And divide that by 2, and I get 1 times 2, 0, 8, 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring the 8 down. 2 times 4 again. So I get 144, right? So let's rewrite this as square root of 2 times square root of 2 times 144. And let's just say I forgot that the square root of 144 is a certain 2-digit number. And so I can keep going. I can go 144 times, divided by 2, right? And I can get, 7, 14, 0, 4, 2. I can get 72. Right? So I get square root of 2 times square root of 2. We decided to split this into 2 and 72. So we've got another 2 and 72. All right. Well, 72, I know, I can get, let's just keep going. All right. Let's say that I'm just doing 2's here. So let's pull 2 out of 72, and I get 36. Right? So we get square root of 2 times square root of 2 times square root of 2 times now the square root of 2 times square root of 36, because this little bit here was what 72 became, right? And so now I am going to keep going, all right, because I decided that I just really like dividing by 2. And so when I divide 36 by 2, I'm going to write all these 2's out here. So now I'm going to divide this by 2, so that's going to give me 2 and 18. Well, hey man, let's keep going. So square root of 2, square root of 2, square root of 2, square root of 2, square root of 2. And then you can make this into the square root of 2 times the square root of 9. And at this point, I have now run my course, and I cannot pull any more 2's out. But you'll notice 9 is a square number, and most people can remember that 9 is a square number. Now, the thing that's crazy about this, right, is that every pair of square roots of 2's I get becomes 2. So this becomes 2 times, and then this one becomes 2, and then this one becomes 2, right? And then the square root of 9 is 3. And so you just multiply this junk, right? You go 2 times 2 is 4, all right? And then 2 times 3, so that this gives me 6, right? So 4, and then 4 times 6 gives me 24, right? And had you put this in a calculator, right, and use the square root button, you would have gotten 24 right away, right? The other option is you could have realized when you got to 144 that the square root of that was 12. And then you would have had your one pair of 2, so it would have been 2 times 12, which would have gotten you 24. I guess I'm just showing you this because I want you to see that you can figure these things out one way or the other, just primarily based upon just what we know, right? Just what we know how to do. So I hope this was interesting, if nothing else, or you can just laugh at me or whatever you want to do. But just wanted you to see that just sometimes just dividing by 2 will get you to a place where you can go, oh yeah, all right, I know what to do now, right? And so hope that helps a little bit. If it doesn't, well then sorry I wasted 7 minutes of your life, but I appreciate you watching. Have a good day.